All right. I think we're here. It was God, I got crumbs in my beard. I feel like I got crumbs in my beard here looking at it. I wouldn't be surprised if I did. Welcome to Get Going Fast here. We've made it to the Monday unshaved version here. Beards are so funny. It's one of those things where it's like they look great when you first get them, and then by week 2, it's like, God, you got to shave that thing. It's starting to hit critical mass. You look like burly man when you first get it, but then I'm gonna have to go to coiffed. Like if I keep it, then I have to go to like shaved and looking like I'm taking care of it kind of thing. Otherwise, I turn into Gandalf, which we don't want. Okay, anyway, welcome to you guys. Thanks for hanging out there. Like I said, was a little bit late. Was on the phone with family stuff. We had quite a week last week with a lot of text to speech stuff. I told you before, these things, they go in cycles, right? So you all of a sudden, all the companies, they're competing for image to image, and so all of a sudden all the image stuff comes out. You get Flux 2 comes out with Z image right after it, and then something, what was it, Quinn comes out with speech to speech, and then LTX2 drops right behind it. So it's like they're all working on these different projects at the same time, and then one of them beats them to the release, and then they're like, release it. They're like, let it all out. So last week was our text to speech week. Lots of text to speech stuff coming out, and it's pretty good. We're going to take a look at Quinn 3 TTS is probably the main one that we'll focus on. Of course, Heart Mule came out. I have not had great luck with Heart Mule. I've made some good stuff with it, but I have not made a variety of stuff because I feel like I keep making the same thing. But then someone else comes up and says, "Hey, listen to what I made," and I'm like, I don't understand. I spent like 12 hours on this thing. How are you getting different stuff than me? But so it's kind of hit or miss on that as well. So, anyways, it's the text to speech stuff, but I get a little bit skeptical when it comes to the text to speech stuff because, one, with pure text to speech, I don't think they really want us to have text to speech because it's just, there's the whole, they're always trying to regulate everything and blah, 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 blah. So, text to speech is one of those things where deep fakes start to go into a whole nother realm. And so I always feel, I remember when AI first started, when we first started getting into the hobby, it first started becoming accessible to the masses. Somebody had created a really excellent voice cloning thing. And maybe this was back in the type of like Bark and Voicecraft and all that stuff. And you could actually do some really incredible stuff. And people were like, why would you want to create things like this? And really scolding the people for it. And so I think that honestly, that there's technology to clone voices. But I just think it's not something that they're really pushing upon. Now, with the music stuff, everybody is always like, oh man, this is the rival to Suno. Benji over here, great guy, does some good stuff, but I was like, come on, Benji. Like he writes something the other day, it's just like, this is the greatest in Suno, and it's like, and it's clickbait. And I was like, come on, I try not to do clickbait. I tap into it every now and again, but I really try to avoid clickbait. Because I want to be honest with you guys. But dude, Heart Mule is nowhere close to Suno. It's not even in the same realm. It's like a kid with it's like some kid with Parkinson's or something, and he's up against LeBron and he's like, come on, bitch, what's up? I'm gonna die. It's like, it's not even close. And I don't think that these things will ever really get close because I just think there's too much money to be involved in. I think that once, if you and I, listen, if you and I could make a Suno clone, dude, we wouldn't give it for free. We would go and we would sell it and we would make millions and millions of dollars. Okay. I just think that's how that works. But it is cool to to do stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead and welcome everyone here. Let's go over here and check to make sure that we are online. Give me a second. I didn't get this set up right, so we're going to have, yeah, there we go. We're going to have some wonkiness here for just a moment. Wonk, wonk, wonk. Oh, hey, look at that. Look at that fell. So here we are over at, there we go. All right. So that is running. That's always good. I like to check it, make sure it's running. Let's remind you that we are running the Wacky Races today. It is wacky. It gets wackier every week, I'm telling you. So whoever comments the most is going to get first place, and you can choose your winner. Okay? That will be the car that we focus on this week, right? In fact, maybe that's what we'll start doing. Winner number one gets to face it, and I'll figure out a way to implement it in across the Get Going Fast ecosphere. You like that word? All right. Well, let's see what we got going on over here. We got a few people popped in. DJ Grizzly is here. What's up, DJ? Good to see you. As always, he's making good music. Go ahead, check him out. We just did recent. We'll be looking at one of these apps. We did the DJ Grizzly edition, okay, which means the DJ was helping me with some of the software. Like, he's actually writing some of the bass stuff, saying, hey, why don't you try this? And here, you know, blah, 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 threw it out, and then I fixed it up and worked on it. You know, it was a mutual thing, but I gave him the credit. It's DJ Grizzly edition. If you guys want to do that as well, you're welcome to work with me and send me some stuff. Say, hey, here's something maybe you haven't heard about, and let's work on it. And I'm happy to do that. So anyways, good to see you, DJ. BGG's here. As always, he says, yo, cowboy. I'm like, what's up, BGG? Good to see you. It's always great to have you around. We got Vintage for you. Vintage, what's up? That's Malcolm, of course. Malcolm's over there in the UK. Always giving him our high regards. And let's see here. BGG's talking about Quinn 3. It's promising. It is promising. Vintage, been looking at Quinn 3. Yep. LaminarRainbow popped in. Laminar is, of course, one of our Gold Star members. So Laminar, you get this one. What's up, Lambs? Good to see you, brother. So, of course, if you're one of our star members, you get a little special attention. So everyone give Lamb some claps there and take off our hat to him. Okay, BGG points out, did anyone see 9-Layer Nigel's Liquid Metal Stick Pro vid? Brilliant. So he's talking about, of course, over on the Discord, every week 9-Layer Nige puts out a let's see here if I can get over there for you. He puts out a weekly, this is not what we wanted. He puts out a weekly challenge that we can take part of, and one of them, of course, was the Liquid Challenge. Let me see if I can find here. So if you go over here to the Discord, you always get a new one. Now, this week he put out a music challenge. He's trying to help me out a bit, so he did some Get Going Fast stuff. So we're going to see who can make the best music. If you win, you get the props of all of your peers. But you can come over here to challenge info, and then you got challenge entries. Oh, yeah, we did this is what he was talking about, was the, oh, he did silver. Yeah, he did Silver Cindy. All right, we'll have to open this up, and I'll open this up, and we'll look at this a bit later. I'm going to pause it. But basically, the thing was take something and have yourself turn to metal. This is Fetta's. So he did it reverse. I think mine was, this was mine. That was with LTX too. Mine comes with sound. And then this week, or last week, was the Midas Touch. So it was like, how could you turn something into gold? So he did that, which was pretty good. That was with Wand 2.2. So I bet I cheated. I just used Grok, which is fine. You can actually use Grok. You just don't get as many points for it. So anyway, yeah, so thanks for pointing that out. Where are we at here? SVI Pro 2. Okay. VG is pointing out something, so I'm going to write that down. Oh, Stable Video Infinity. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys have been using Stable Video Infinity. I have really not spent much time with it. I guess I need to spend some time with it. All right, well, let's pop in. Of course, if you guys got other questions, be sure to pop in. I'm keeping my eye here on the messages. Let's see if I can swing. We don't know if you guys remember Wayne's World or not, but swing. Okay. I'm gonna get over here. I gotta close out a bunch of windows here. Oh yeah, I was working on an LTX. Oh, there, it finally worked. I'll show you something. If you guys remind me, I'm still working with LTX2, and I had an interesting issue with an audio thing there, but and then I fixed it. So I'll show you how I fixed it. Okay, well, let's first though pop on over here to here. Where are we at? Trying to remember the dates. We're browser. It's 5 days ago, 6 days ago. Yeah, okay. Last week was my freak out on LTX week. Yeah, okay. So let's see here. I think you guys saw this stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to play it because it's copyrighted music. I'll lose my thing. BGG just sent me the workflow for the SVI Pro too, by the way. So I'll look at that, and then if it's something good, then I'll give it to you all to use as well. All right. Oh, there's our live stream. Okay. All right, Flux 2 Klein came out. All right, now we went ahead. I should have had this loaded up here. I'll sit here and BS while I get this loaded up. Maybe we can do this together. We can do it together. So Flux 2 Klein came out, and it was underwhelming, I would think. One of those things that I looked at and was like, yeah, that's not that great. In fact, I made a video on it explaining that it's really not all that fantastic. But then I've seen other people putting out some stuff that looks a lot better. When I go over to Reddit and stuff like that. Let's see, is this the simple flow? Trying to find the workflow here. This is Klein Edit. Hold on just a second. Sorry, guys. All right, here we go. So it doesn't look like I have the model attached, but let's scrub this over a bit so we can see. Okay, yeah. Oh, this was the edit version. Okay, the bottom line with this was you're dealing with a bunch of 4 billion parameter models. So let's go Flux, Klein, Comfy UI. So the bottom line is to really run this, again, it's one of the things you have to have 1 million bits of VRAM unless you get an FP8 version. But then the FP8 versions that they're giving us are so small. Yeah, see, you got your Flux. It's a 4 billion FP8 safe tensor. So when you're talking about 4 billion, you've already got a small model. And then if you cut that to 32, it cuts it in half. And then you cut that to 16, it cuts that in half. Then down to 8, it cuts that in half. And then down to 4. So you're talking like incredibly small in comparison to what you got. And then as you go down, there's another page here. It even gets into NP4s of that. So then now you've gone from like full to like 32 to 64, to 64, to the 32 to 16 to 8 to 4, and then down to that. So you got like this much left, and then they start cutting that. The bottom line is it's getting a bunch of images that just have no arms or no legs. Now, again, I've seen some good stuff on Reddit, and I don't totally understand. Let's go over to Reddit real quick. I don't totally understand how they're getting their images that they're getting. So like here, Flux Klein 9B works great out of the box. So I'm assuming they threw this in and then threw that out and they got that. I'm not able to get that. Everything I've got looks okay. And like I said, I threw in my Ninja Turtle kissing Taylor Swift image. and it's really not that impressive. Let's go ahead and load this video up. I'm going to confirm I'm not a bot. Huh? I think it's because I'm running a VPN. Sorry, this is kind of bumping around here. Good Lord, just let me get there. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, this was the biggest. This was the biggest one. Now I remember. This is the biggest problem. Like, check this out. All of the things I generated look the same. So you say like a redheaded gal on a train, and it doesn't matter. You generate it 100 times, you're going to get the same gal 100 times. Let's see if it's going to finally pop. Okay, here was the Ninja Turtle thing. Didn't even look that great. Yeah, that girl there, I couldn't, man, I generated 50 things. It was the same woman in different positions, same face. So it's just, there I finally got something a little bit different. That's okay. See, like those are okay. But it's not like I mean, Z image is still better. Quinn edit is still better. So I don't know. Anyway, if you guys got some workflows that you want to show me, get me on the right track with Klein, then I am happy to do that. I'm going to disconnect from my VPN here. Okay, so here's some more lip stuff. There's Kaylani. I don't even know who these people are. I just looked up their the highest things. Okay, so then we focused on the multi-angle LoRa, which is really cool. Why are you having me sign in? I'm already signed in. So the multi-angle LoRa is very cool. Man, I feel bad here. I'm sorry, guys. I should have been a bit better prepared. The bottom line is you can throw in an image and then you can have it twisted around just by, it gives a whole list of different camera angles, and it actually recreates it really good because it's using Quinn 3, and Quinn 3 edit is awesome. So if I'm standing here and you say, you know, upward right angle here, it would actually get me from the right side here. So you'd see something like, say like this, right? And it actually holds consistency. You can tell it's me. Then for all you not safe for work users out there, you could say, you know, remove the shirt, and it would actually remove my shirt from the different angle as well. You know, or if you know, you got, you know, gal, you could go around and you could actually see your bum or something like that from the back, and it actually generates it and it keeps it together very well. I've always been impressed with the Quinn 3 in painting in how consistent it stays. So we have a picture of, you know, a 1950s gal. She's a bot. I have a bot on the Discord channel. We call her Mom. Okay. And so she's kind of this 1950s mom thing. I'm looking for her image right now so I can show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. So like I'll throw this in and I'll say like, do something with this, right? Give another angle, give a full body, and it actually holds together and will put her in the correct clothes for the era. It can tell somehow by the hairstyle and by the whatever what to put her in. Even if I change her clothes, it's not going to put her in modern clothes. It's going to put her in 1950s clothes. So it's very smart. Now, interestingly enough here, let's see here. BGG is saying that Quinn 2509 is better than 2511. So I'll have to look into that because 2511 is awesome. And of course, the amazing thing about 2511 is that it's just one model. So there are no LoRa's needed. Well, I mean, you can add LoRa's, but there are no multiple VAEs, text encoders. You don't need the edit and the image. It's all just one thing that does everything all at once. So that's very cool. All right, let's pop over here to this one. So this was, again, the big one of the week. Heart Mule. Oh my God, it's taken on Suno. It's like, no, it's not. But it's cool. It does some good stuff. Let me throw in, I think you guys have probably already heard this, but let's throw in some of what I've done with Hartmula. I can find the damn thing here. I am sorry here. All right, let's play this one right here.
Get going fast, it's so super duper radiant, hyper. Ooh, 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 ooh,
Okay, so as you can see, it makes some decent stuff, but it's all kind of the same thing that I've got now. I'm going to show you. I did play with it with LTX. I got a better one than this, but so play that again. So, you know, so there's some use for this. There's some possibilities. Let me go over the Discord. One of these guys came in and all of a sudden he starts playing. He's like, "Oh yeah, look what I made." He was like making Christian rap. Here's some of his stuff.
Yeah. Let me tell them who I am. Not what they say, but what he says, fam. They try to box me in, but I can't fit. Labels all around, I ain't with it.
I haven't been able to do that. Here's another one he did. He did a classic hymn.
Be thou my vision, O Lord of my heart.
Okay, so obviously that's really good. We're using the same workflow. He's running through 1.2 GP. I've been running through the Get Going Fast, but then I went over to the 1.2 GP. So I think there must be some trick to how these things are prompted, because I spent literally, I probably spent a good 24 hours just working with the stuff, generating stuff, working with Claude to change up things to try to make it. And at the end of the day, I get other stuff. Now, Henky dropped in. Good to see Henky. Now, if we know Henky will probably steal up to #1. He knows how to work the algorithm. Welcome to Good to see you, Henky. Of course, he's one of the co-creators of Cobalt CPP. Now, Henky and I, we're going to have a little bit of a disagreement here. We'll see here. He says he hopes that Hartmula gets a fine tune with a lot of mainstream EDM genres. So, well, there he says EDM. So, okay. So it's going to more Suno-like. But if my 2-year law holds true, we should get Suno quality sometime this year. Now, that must be studio quality. Okay. Studio quality, I could agree with. We could definitely be getting studio quality. I don't think we're going to get Suno quality though. As I said earlier in the thing, I just think there's too much money to in the music business for us to get that. But this did push it. Hartmula definitely did push us in the direction of all of a sudden you can get like 3-minute long songs, 4-minute long songs. But like Hank said, it's all EDM. It's all dance. I don't know how this other guy did it. If you figure it out, let me know. I'll host you on here. So Hank has already taken over the algorithms we hear. Now Laminar jumps in. The funny thing about EDM is most of it is just saw waves and kick drums, which is true. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I would like to be able to have some country music on there, or some gangster murder rap. What's up? I always want to try every different thing. And when I type in heavy metal thrash and it comes out with ooh and I'm like, this doesn't have the one. Now I did have one. I can't play it for you. I did finally get frustrated and I threw out some F-bombs And I was like, you know, F you and blah. And that one actually did come out good. So maybe it's the words you're using. So if you use words like light and rainbow, it's going to give you EDM. And if you use words like F you and, you know, bite my butt, you know, that kind of thing, it'll get more aggressive. So maybe it's more lyric focused. I don't know. You guys let me know. Henky again says Hartmüller seems close, just obviously not tuned on commercial music like Suno and Studio. And he keeps calling, is it Udio? Is that actually what it's called? Okay. Only takes people who don't give a damn and a torrent. Okay. I haven't had great luck with Hartmüller. Whatever. Let's see. You guys have. I spent a lot of time on it. Okay. This was a little trick that you guys will appreciate. Never type call Vin scripts activate again. So, man, you type that all the time. If you're working with stuff, you're like, call V and V / script / activate, you know, and then it goes on. Another one, a big long one we have to type all the time is pip-r requirements.txt. So this is just a little simple trick that I was showing you guys how to shorten that. Essentially, with this, what we did is we create a bat file. And in that bat file, when it's called, we call the bat file call V. I just called it call V. So when call V is hit, it opens this bat file and then it types out everything for us and goes there. Then you add it into your environmental variables. And I put it in this Windows System 32. So like that's how like when you type copy, it knows because it's in the System 32. Or you type, you know, some of these other stuff, Z copy or X copy, whatever, you know, it knows these things. Just like when we type in Python or Conda, it knows it's in there. So I create my own bat file, throw it into the environmental variables. If I ever type call V, it goes through there and it will activate the virtual environment. And if it's already activated, it'll deactivate it. And that saves a lot of time. So I just call that call V. You guys do that for anything. Okay, I'm thinking about making one called pip-r, you know, just for installing requirements.txt. Because again, I type the stuff out 100 times a week, you know. It gets tiring doing it. I mean, you get to a point where you're like, but still. So that's a nice little trick you guys can do. That's a little Uber thing there. All right, GLM. Image 4-bit audio radio. So again, another one of these image ones that is okay. Of course we have all this over at Get Going Fast, so you can just download it and play with it. You know, see what you think. Quick installer in and out. Again, I want to like this, but yeah. So here's the deal with GLM. The reason people are talking about GLM images is because it's what's called auto-regressive. So actually, Henky could probably talk us a lot about what auto-regressive means. But basically, like with the chat bot. So I type and I go, "Hey, how are you?" And what it does is it figures out what you said, and then it figures out what should go after that. So like, "Hi, how are you?" It'll go doing. Period. I'm doing fine. So it creates it like that. Okay, now with the normal diffusion models with images, what happens, it starts with a bunch of static and then it just kind of starts chipping away. I know it sounds funny, but I really believe it's like this. It starts chipping away I want a picture of a cat. It pictures away everything that doesn't look like a cat. You know, so it's like an artist taking a piece of block and be like, well, just chip away stuff that doesn't look like a cat. And so it diffuses it down into what's actually a cat. So this is an auto-regressive image model, actually does both of these things. So it you type in what you want and it figures out what each pixel is. So it figures out one kind of block at a time depending on the block before it. Okay, and then it also throws in there and then it does some diffusion stuff as well. So a lot's going on here. So this is another one of these ones where you're gonna hear people talk about, they're like, oh, it's awesome and it's great, but it's awesome and great if you have 96 gigabytes of VRAM, because there's so much stuff going on that we can't handle it down here on our hobby level. So we get the 4-bit version, which of course you're talking like going from like this down to like, you know, down to like that, you know, or like that. So it's a very small in comparison. So as you see, here's Ninja, here's Taylor Swift Kitchen and a Ninja Turtle. It's okay. I kind of like the colors. There's some vibrancy about this that I like. But you know, it's kind of weird. It's got its own weird style to it. But it's not bad. But it does take a long time. So you can go play with this, but you're talking 30 seconds to a minute to get an image out. Let's see. Oh, David just popped in. Let's say hi to David real quick. Maybe we'll take a opportunity to go check the Wacky Races. But David just popped in. David, of course, is one of our rancher classes. So David, it's always good to have you. David is one of our, when you're a rancher class, you actually get an hour of my time every month. So him and I meet. We have regular scheduled meetings, and I get to help him with his different projects. And you could be a rancher too. So anyway, welcome, David. Good to have you. Really quick, let's pop over here. Let's see what's going on with oh, how do I get back to trying to figure out how to get back to our comments so we can see who's in the lead of the Wacky Race. I don't know why I was doing that. All right, well, I guess we'll have to check in on that later then. I'm not quite sure how to pull us into comment mode. Anyway, let's just move it. Let's just keep moving forward. All right, so that's GLM. We made it through there. Okay, Hartmula installation guide. Here's the deal with Hartmula is it is a command line issue. So when you're running this stuff, you install it and then you do a command line. You know, you call, you know, Python music generation.py, and then, you know, you have it set to all your parameters. So we did go ahead and created a get going fast version of it. So if you want to play with it, again, that's the easiest way. Just pull it down. That is the DJ Grizzly version. He helped me with that. So you can play with that. All right. Quinn 3 text to speech. So this is probably kind of a big one. Now, again, some people online, they're just called it a toy. Again, I think Benji called it a toy again. I'm like, I don't know. I think you're missing out on this. The purpose of this, where are we at here? Damn it. I feel like I'm lost. Okay. Here's the app that we made for Get Going Fast. The big thing about this isn't that you can do big long voices, which of course is the important thing. Okay. So with Zonos and with some of this other stuff, you can do long form stuff. This is really a 1 to 2 sentence kind of a thing. But what is interesting about it, in my perspective, is again the voice cloning. You can throw in 3 seconds worth of stuff, which is not a lot of text. And if you transcribe it, which is going to be the key, you can actually get realistic sounding stuff. So I'll throw something in without a transcript. It doesn't sound so good, but then I'll throw in this.
This is not really Patrick Stewart, but rather his voice being cloned. Get Going Fast is the best way to get into this AI hobby at warp speed.
All right, so that's actually pretty good. That was just a thing off the internet that I took, and I clicked down 3 seconds. I had another one here. Where did that one go? Let's see. Let's see if you can figure out who this is. Yeah, that wasn't the one.
We are going to make text to speech great, and then we are going to make it great again.
All right, so that was all voice cloning off just a few seconds. So I think really the key about this one is just how good the voice cloning is. You have a voice design over here, so they're playing again with, you can put excited, confident, male voice, and it's more just hit or miss. Let's try this one.
Get Going Fast is the best way to get into this AI hobby at warp speed. Get Going Fast is the best way to get into this AI hobby at warp speed.
So let's copy one of these. We'll copy Henky's last message, throw it in here. Let's see how long it takes. We'll say, let's try something different. We'll say crying and exasperated. Not that Henky is crying or exasperated, but I'm just trying some different stuff. And we'll click design and generate. So we'll let that do its thing. Then, of course, you got your custom voice. And over here, you just have a bunch of voices that are pre-made. So this is actually a pretty good text-to-speech thing. And I think would work really good with LTS. I haven't tried this yet. Oh, I did show you. I was going to show you an error fix here, but let's check this out and see if this worked at all. Oh, this didn't work at all. Okay, so I was having a bit of problem with the LTX over here, throwing in this audio that I had made. Okay, and I kept getting this weird error saying that the dimension was only 1. So I threw this plus one that I knew worked into ChatGPT, and it turned out that the audio on this one was single channel instead of dual channel. And so for whatever reason, LTX did not like it. So I had to convert this using FFmpeg to get it to not error out. But of course, as you can see, I didn't prompt this properly. But so that's the thing. If what I did again is I got the error and then I didn't quite know what it meant. So I scrolled out and then I found over here was the red one. I go, oh, okay. So copied in. So the bottom line is if you're getting audio VAE errors, it can be the way that your audio file has been encoded. So I just had to re-encode it. Okay, Quinn TTS, let's read here really quickly. Henky says, on a side note, Cobalt AI Lite can work with these TTS if you have a compatible API server. Yes. I recall Quinn 3 TTS has an open AI API mode, and that would work for our UI. I'll have to do a video on that. Basically, what he's meaning is that you can plug this into your chatbots and then have your chatbot talk back to you. And we've done videos on this. So you can actually go to YouTube and check out some videos on talking with your chatbot. I think that's the name of the video. Basically, you run the server, and then you have Cobalt CPP send the text to it. The text comes back, and then your chatbot, your Valley Girl with the lisp, is telling you how beautiful you look theoretically. And with vocal. So very cool. Now, David says, this is a newer version than you gave me a week ago. I'm not sure what you're talking about, David. Okay, so, all right. So I think that's kind of it for the week with the Quinn 3 stuff. I'm not sure where we're going to focus for the rest of the week. Again, everything goes through cycles. So, you get the image to image generation cycle, the video generation cycle, then you'll get into some kind of face swapping, and then it comes to text to speech. Probably we'll be getting some chat stuff coming out. So, of course, everyone wants the image stuff. That's where the big glory is. So they get the most focus on that. But all these are side projects. So I think what happens is when these things slow down, they start to release the TTS stuff. So usually you'll have like 2 or 3 major releases on image before you get back to TTS. And it's kind of the same with chat stuff. So maybe we'll be keeping our eyes open for what they're going to be doing with new chat models and stuff. That would be really cool. I assume there's more TTS stuff coming out. There's another sound thing. Someone just sent me. Oh, yeah. I think you have to go to the Discord to get it. Not to my Discord, but to, what's it called? It is, oh yeah, A-Step. So a new A-Step version, I guess, has come out, a 1.5. But if you do a search for it, there is no 1.5 out on the internet. They haven't released the GitHub yet. So one of our guys named Regal has been promoting some stuff on it. Here's what he's been doing. Okay, so I think the big deal about that's in different language. That's in French. This is in Finnish. Okay, here's Spanish. Los chingazos al viento de ser presumido fue la clave del muchacho y pues el chingado. All right, I've been watching Narcos all week, so I'm an expert on Spanish now. So on. So maybe we'll be taking a look at that. But again, it seems like it's not quite been released. But if you go to the A-Step Discord, I think you can get your hands probably on that. All right, DavidF says. No, so he said Index TTS. No, there is no new version of Index TTS. This is that's what he thought there's a new version. There's a new version of Quinn 3 TTS. TTS, of course, just means text-to-speech. David says, I'm having color scheme issues with Quinn angle model, but we'll talk about that in our next meeting. Yeah, we can talk about that. Hank, the original A-step, I never got to be coherent with the music, so this sounds way better. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously things are going to get better as they get going. Now, I want to head over and finish up our Wacky Races, but it looks like I'm still uncertain how to get back to the comments. So we might just have to... How the hell do you get to the comments? We got it. Recently uploaded, watched. So I'm not, so I'm going to have to report the winners of our Wacky Races later. I am sorry, guys. I feel like I have let you down on that. Okay. But AI never is going to let you down, right? It's never going to give you up. It's never going to let you down. AI is never going to run around, you know, that kind of thing on you. Okay, I think we'll probably end it up there. So we're keeping our eye open for more TTS stuff, maybe some chat stuff coming out, playing around with our LTX still. This has been a good time to listen. I've been updating a bunch of the old softwares on Get Going Fast. So, again, the old, what have I got a list here? Actually, some stuff that I've been updating. Oh yeah, I've been fixing the old F5 TTS, Higgs TTS, Vibe Voice. These are all great apps. We forget about them. To be honest, text-to-speech really isn't, I'm not seeing it grow in leaps and bounds. So I still think Zonos is fantastic. I still think F5 and Higgs is really fantastic as well. So go check those out, and I fix those if those haven't been working for you. Keep your eye on the Torch. Torch, of course, is we have to install that all the time when we install any software, and the Torch versions have been messing things up. There's a 12.9 version that I think that I've been using for everything. I can share kind of the link of that. It works with both, but a lot of your old apps, you're going to be getting errors because it relies on 11.8. So if you go to the GitHub repositories, and 11.8 is almost a completely abandoned Torch, which is mind-boggling to me because it was so big, it was so prevalent back in the day. So, okay, well. Damn it, I wish I could show you the Wacky Race results here. I will post them, though, with this later. We'll see if Henky snuck in and took them again. He has a way of doing that. He and the algorithm are one. It's like Lawnmower Man. He goes in and becomes the algorithm. So, okay. I think with that... Oh, wait, I just realized something here. Oh, let's show you really quickly. Let's show you 9-layer Nigel's video, and then we'll go.
Over Cindy, touch the cradle, turn to liquid. Silver Cindy, Silver Cindy, Silver Cindy. Touch the cradle, turn to liquid, Silver Cindy.
Okay, and there you have it, Silver Cindy. And I did figure out what was going on with the Wacky Races. I wasn't even on the live stream. So we are going to be able to check out. Let's see who the top winners are. Henky did it again. You guys, will you see Henky come in here? Wait, what's going on? Oh, shit. Hold on. Well, there went my monetization. Oh, well. So when you see Henky come in here, you got to be cutthroat. That guy steals it. Henky gets number 1. David ends up at number 2. Lamb's number 3. Malcolm number 4. BGG had a good start. Couldn't hold it together. Romaine, I didn't see you enter here. So Romaine Bartholomew, welcome. If I didn't see you. And DJ Grizzly grabs the number 7 spot. Okay. Yeah, you're all winners. That's right. So okay, we'll chat you guys later. Hang in there. That music was Alan Parsons. That's excellent music, by the way. That's Eye in the Sky and Sirius, but that just cost me my monetization. So, which doesn't mean a lot. I probably lost $1. All right, we'll check you later. Boy, you guys never heard, like, everyone is all of a sudden like commenting about the music. You guys never heard that before? See, that might just be an age thing here. I'm going to give you the link. Alan Parsons project was fantastic. There's the link for that. You guys go have fun with that. You know, good on you. Have a good week. If you've got any questions, hit me up on Discord. I'm in and I'm out. You know, I'm up and I'm down. What is the song? I'm up and I'm down.